Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for coming to the end of another year and you bringing us through this year. I pray that you'll help us to finish well and start the new year well. I pray that you'll pour out your blessings upon each and every person in this room. Please, I ask, Lord, that you give us not what we deserve, but what you would love to give us for this Christmas season and on into the new year. We love you, Jesus, and we thank you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In your package, you have minutes from the December 5th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion, changes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Changes? Changes, committee report.
I'm short and sweet tonight. We don't have any ads to approve, and we'll probably have some in January for the first quarter of 2018. So everything that I know as far as tourism requests are covered. We don't have any at this point from ads or from organizations. I want to tonight thank the police department for the work that they did last week on the Wreaths Across America ceremony. They really helped us get the trucks into town and perform the ceremony well, so I thank them for that, and they deserve a pat on the back. And the last thing that I have is holidays is right here. Christmas is this weekend. So if anyone needs a last minute holiday gift, I want to remind them that the Chamber of Commerce has Kennett cash certificates for sale. And that's one gift certificate that can be used at more than 30 local businesses. It's a good way to give a gift to a friend who you don't know what they would like and keep money within the community. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good year. Finance?
A couple of things. One, that we got a pleasant surprise this month. Our income is back up to normal. Sales tax 1 and 2 came in at roughly $161,000 each from 85 last month. That was due to software malfunction that the state had last month. They had some kind of an upgrade. So we're back on track. If this continues, our average right now is $121,456 per sales tax. If that continues, we'll be over budget by $107,000 throughout the year. So expenses are still under control, so we should be back on track.
Good deal.
Any comment on the use tax?
Oh yes, that was the second part. We did get the use tax kicked in for the month of November. We got a little over $1,400, and also for December, between December 1st and 11th, we got $3,665. So that's an additional income that will start coming in.
Good deal.
And we're looking to have a finance meeting beginning of the year, since we're halfway through the year, and look things over.
Yeah, that's quite encouraging.
Yep.
We got the numbers in November. Exposed the bubble. Whatever the problem was, and Jeff Seeley got squared away. That's good.
And it wasn't just Kennedy, it was throughout the state, an issue that they had with everybody.
Fire committee?
Had nothing at this time.
Human resource,
I don't have anything at this time.
police?
The only thing I have on the police, I would like to ask Chief Dennis about if we've been doing any more patrol over around North Street, Commercial Street, Van Deventer, when people's been complaining.
Yes, Councilman Weatherwax, thank you for asking. Yes, we've beefed up the patrol in these areas. We tried to assign one man when possible, just to patrol the certain areas where we've had the calls. Last 2 weeks we've had 4, but yes, we have.
Good enough for me. That's all I need to know. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Bill's not here for the street committee.
Mr. Mayor, we won't have our regular meeting at the end of this month. We'll try to schedule early in January. Not wait till the end of the month to get one in fairly early. We have to check on schedules.
Okay. Departmental reports, Art?
Couple of things. We had our annual awards recognition dinner last Thursday, and we had those recipients I mentioned the last time. We had that for things that they had done within the community, life-saving awards. We had 3 additional ones. One, we had an incident at Aldi's, and it resulted in a cardiac arrest save on I think a 6-year-old male, and he's due to have some surgery and will be returning home here shortly, so it was a good incident outcome. The Humane Department, they received the largest donation last Friday night. I don't have all the details because they're doing some end of the year vacation time to kill off their time before the end of the year, but I did find out it was a pretty good donation. Tina had come to me and asked me they needed to, just so the individual would have a record of it, I typed up a thing that, for her that would acknowledge that he had given a donation and that would be deposited into the account that's used for animals, or as the city sees fit. They're like to get the rest of the money into that, I guess it's 501c3 account that was established. The Code Enforcement Office, Victor, it was a scheduled visit by the Insurance Service Office, and basically they go through and audit the building permits, and they look at plans that are submitted. If they're reviewed, they look at how most of it's tracked and monitored. And with that, they basically are looking at the city, the score would improve. The guy was very optimistic that the score would improve from the visit 4 or 5 years ago. What this does, while the fire department gets inspected, ours is on the fire side of your insurance premium. This is on your peril side, like wind damage, tornado damage, flood damage, things like that. So this has an effect on that. So basically, the Mr. Finkel was the inspector, and he had relayed to us that Victor had had his stuff in such order that he could come in and look at it and not have to dig. And he said he doesn't get into very many communities where it's that organized and was that presentable to him. So hopefully that'll result in next month or so we'll get a letter on it and see if it will lower some insurance costs for residents of Kennett. We do have a property demolition meeting this Thursday here at 6 p.m. I believe it is, and it will be regarding the 117 First Street, the old Spence property. Try to see how we can move along with that. Emergency Management, we're closing out a grant. Their grant period runs from January to December, so we're closing that grant period out, and we'll be applying. We're one of the what they call EMPG, Emergency Management Program grant cities. So the grant will be renewed. We just have to apply for it here in the next month or so. With that grant closeout, we have a 50-50 match funding for 2 computers. $2,400. We're in the middle of getting pricing right now on that, and we'll submit. And basically, I guess we could say we buy one, get one free at a 50-50, if you want to look at it that way. But that will go to the assistant chief and the fire marshal. Hopefully we'll have programs on there that if we have a disaster, they've got a computer with some stuff already on there to be able to come into the EOC and start working with it. That's all that I have right now. So, we did make up some signs. We at the Compress Properties, Gerald Horton that still works on the mow crew doing some alleyways and stuff, and he's really done some fine trimming out there of trees that were growed up and such. And the girl in the office has mentioned that there's a lot of cars cut through there, a lot of them park, and I guess some people are out there picking up cons or whatever, but we don't have no signs on the property that say, no trespassing or anything, so talking to the mayor, Randy and his crew graciously has made up some signs, and we'll get Gerald Horton to stick them up to different entrances around the perimeter of the facility. Hopefully, maybe it'll keep a halfway honest person from getting in there, or someone get in there and get hurt. We did have another small incident out there with our cotton crop being one of the best in the last, I don't grow cotton 5-10 years or more. That they have more cotton stored in out there. And I give credit to Stacy that manages it out there. She come in, smelled like some burnt cotton, and we come out there right away with our thermal cameras. And of course, we got over by the door, you could smell it a little stronger, and I had to look out the crack of the door, and what had happened at Bale, somebody had set a hot bale out there, I guess, that evening, and it completely burned up. And of course, we didn't have any incident, but she's up on it, and we noticed her pressurized water extinguisher that they keep there were down, so we took them and resurfaced them. We can do that ourselves to hopefully head off everything. But that's just a peril of having a good crop year, and hopefully a good crop year will result in good sales tax for us in the future here, which is part of it. So, any questions?
Please give Mr. Moe our congratulations and thank you and an attaboy for doing the job well done.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
And we'll let you know what, when that letter comes in, what they say.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. December's been a month of training. I've been going to the end of the year Chiefs Conference, chiefs throughout the state, Jefferson City. Very good conference, a lot of education. A lot of it is going on. Their problems and our problems basically the same, doesn't matter what size city. Basically some of the same problems they've got. We were able to do a lot of networking and a lot of good information is exchanged. Last week, I was able to take 5 of my supervisors to the Myrna Law Enforcement Seminar. It was very good training there on policy, procedures, liabilities for the city, and in law enforcement, and just a lot of stuff going on in law enforcement, which everybody knows, and a lot of liability on our part, but our part is to keep the citizens safe. So, in the Chiefs Conference, I did miss, and thank you for bringing that up, Nick, the concerns about some of the shots fired calls we've been getting. I think so far we've had 10 in the month of December. They're random throughout different parts of town. Like I said, we tried to assign an officer at night time and some at daytime when we can, and to protect the citizens. There's no tolerance for that. A lot of the people, there's information, we're following leads, can't go into a whole lot. But, people, juveniles from 16 up to 25 to 30, it seems like they've just got a lot of guns on the street. And a lot of our problems are they're coming in from out of towns, making statements or whatever they want to do, think it's fun or whatever, and they're leaving as quick as they come in. So we've asked other towns for their help in this, and they've got the same problems we've got. But like I said, it's no tolerance, and we want to tolerate it. We'll do our reports and send it to the prosecutor, and we will get everything done and prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. The citizens of this town deserve better than that. They don't need to have to worry about bullets flying around their house or while their kids are out playing. Like I said, December, we've had a lot of Christmas parties, big parties, so we're out and about. We've got a lot of vacations, but we've got those all wrapped up, so we're business as usual. And I want to thank each member of the council, the new mayor, and the citizens for the support they give us through the year. We've got a lot of stuff to do next year. Hopefully the problems we've had this year financially will start getting better, but we know there's just so much to go around the city, and we all know it, and we learn from that, and we're going to do our best to keep the finances down on the police department side. Anybody have any questions? Yeah. We wish y'all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and stay safe.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
things here. Not very many. The next couple of weeks, we're gonna have several people out on vacation due to working during the better time of the year to get the streets, concrete poured and everything. People kinda hold off on it a little bit till the end of the year, so next couple of weeks we'll be having a few people out with that. We received some help from the Independence Township out at the old dog pound. At our request, they mowed some of the trees back for us that were growing out on the road that went up back where we dumped the concrete. We did a little bit of GIS work on our computers at the shop, which part of that will also go along for stormwater, putting the pipes in and outfalls on the computer and mapping that. We are finishing up our Murmur required training. We'll have that done by the end of the year. We've got certain things that are required by Murmur that we have to do through the year. Also, our Bobcat skid steer is still in service, but the door glass was broke out breaking concrete a couple of weeks ago. So we're gonna try to get one ordered, and I don't know how long that'll take to get it put back in, but it's kind of a safety hazard as far as breaking concrete, because in fact, glass hadn't been there, that piece of concrete would hit him. He said he watched it come, kinda scary, but it shattered the window. But hopefully we're gonna get that back going again. We won't have much concrete between now and the first of the year. The compost took 164 loads since last council meeting. 15 of those were government agencies, 12.1% for 12.1% of it. Last meeting, there was 280 loads, and that was in 11 days. The last thing is 3rd Street. 3rd Street is deteriorating pretty steady. We've got a steel plate, I think it's about a 4x8 sheet of steel on 3rd and Randall in an intersection. And the hole there it's getting bigger. We check it occasionally, well we check it often because we have to put the barricades and barrels back a lot. Every time we go by, we have to move them back. We always go by on Friday after we do the trash run on the square and move them back, and within an hour they're moved. We went by on trash run and moved them back and left to go out on the job 10 minutes later, and two of them were moved on certain intersections. And they're moving them and driving up and down the road. So the road is really not blocked off for more than maybe 30 minutes or an hour, and then they move them and drive up and down the road. It's the whole road's bad. I mean, they're driving over places that could probably fall any time, and there's no way we can keep it blocked. I don't guess we try, but they're gonna move them. So, but it's not getting any better. We don't have any money really right now, I don't think, to get another plate right now. We do, okay. We may end up having to get a bigger plate to cover the hole if it keeps getting bigger. The one that's on there now is 4x8. That's all we've got. And John, your signs will be ready for you tomorrow.
Thank
We
you.
got them cut and going.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Randy Stewart, do you have a ballpark figure on what 3rd Street will cost to repair?
I think it was in December of 2014, guesstimate was $240,000. That's without replacing the street, that's just digging the pipe up and replacing it.
How long a time frame do you think they'll take?
Probably 2 weeks or more.
Just about, I'll give Steve later, see if there's some place that we could borrow the money and fix that street, and then
Until the
when the
storm
stormwater
drains,
money comes in, we can replace what we borrowed from. But,
maybe we can,
we'll take a look, that thing's gone much too long. It's getting worse apparently, so.
Wasn't that pipe connected to the pipe on South Anthony that was gonna be really expensive and we was gonna try to do it all at the same time or something?
South Anthony from First Street to Third is in bad shape too. It's just not as bad as going down Third Street. We haven't had any collapses there. It's all set. The pipe that was put in there is tar coated. And now most of the tar's come loose and is falling into the bottom of it to the point we can't get Barney through there or the camera, either one, in places. But, the pipe's getting in bad shape too. We talked about trying to do both of those at one time, but we feel like now we probably just need to do Third Street and then hopefully with the transportation money, I'm used to saying that so much, the stormwater money coming in, that we'll be able to, take on other projects too.
If you're in agreement, we'll take a look and see if we can do something to get the project started. So, what, 3 years now? 5 years. Time goes by in a hurry. No old business, first of new business from ordinance to create a new council committee.
First reading, an ordinance establishing a senior citizen services committee of the city council. This is a committee which will consist of 3 members of the city council, and it will be the duties of this committee to formulate and administer applications for the use, expenditure, administration of the sales tax money, senior citizen stuff, sales tax.
Motion approved.
Second.
On favor side?
Aye.
Second reading, an ordinance establishing a senior citizen services committee of the city council.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay. At this stage, I have 2 names to go on this committee. We're working on the third one. Should be ready for the first meeting next month, so get your approval on those at that time. Also in the package, you have the civil rights water accounts payable.
Motion.
Approved, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Also, you have the city accounts payable.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This time, we've had various suggestions for the upcoming holidays here. According to the HR manual, one of the 12 holidays that our employees have is Christmas Day. It does not include the day before Christmas or Christmas Eve. Falls on Monday this time, with Christmas Eve being on Sunday. There's some comments about whether to take off on Tuesday or take off a half a day on Friday. So, leave it to the pleasure of the council. What would you like to do? You want to leave it as is? You want to make modification for this year?
I mean, I'm fine with the employees taking off. I just don't see it being a paid holiday. Yeah, and I think if people have vacation time or want to take time off without pay, I'm good with that. That's just me.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Is that a motion?
That's my motion, I guess.
Is there a second?
Second.
Just clarify the motion, you're saying basically leave it as is.
If that's the way that it is. I mean, I just don't see us in a financial situation where we give another paid holiday.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Holidays will stay the same as is. This time we'll open the floor for public comment.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I just like to come up on the St. Francis Street grant. We're still in a holding pattern. So, but that's only news we've got, so, holding pattern is better than no.
That's better than the
Do we have a
alternative.
time frame that we're looking at?
I mean, the last two timeframes they've given us have come and gone. So it's, I don't even ask for a time frame anymore, it's just like, they're just like, we'll get to it. The last little scare was that government shut down again, and so they're like, we're waiting. So, okay, so I guess we'll wait.
Okay.
So, besides that, I wish everybody a good, Merry Christmas and have a happy and safe 4th of July. Not 4th of July. Somebody did that to me earlier, just today, it was just like, 4th of July. is New Year's.
Go back to 4th of July.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else like to address the council? Okay, we're gonna have a closed session here after the regular meeting.
I'm sorry, I meant to raise my hand. Is it okay to speak for just a moment?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
If I'd given some information to my councilman, I'd hope to speak with him before the meeting started, but he's a man who's very punctual.
Always.
You think he's a boy?
So,
I've noticed that, I've noticed that at your office.
don't want to waste time waiting around, you'll get there right on time. So, the animal control officer expressed some concern to me that she's having some personnel issues there, and talked to her for quite a while, and it seemed like we had a lot of administrative situation there. So I had written a proposed solution to try and handle some of the communication errors or failures to communicate or handling the general administration. I've written it out in some detail. I don't want to waste your time. I've given copies of this to my councilman. But I would like to say that, that 22 years ago, when we had a debacle with our animal control department, and Channel 8 and Channel 12 here, some extremely bad publicity, and an irate mob of 50 or 60 citizens shouting threats at the council members. We had several bad things going on, and one of those has been corrected, which is the dismal state of the facility. And one that hadn't been corrected, I spent 40 hours at that time doing research and preparing a report for the council, which went into the round file, as far as I know, already good nice from earlier around the time. But there was one area that has not been handled, and that is administration, no written policy and procedure manual, no continuity and chain of command in city government. Essentially, everybody feels like they got something more important to do, worry about the animal control program. And the animal control officers, they left their own devices to develop their own policies and procedures. No training provided, and there's nothing to go on. So, 22 years ago, that was resulted in something pretty terrible. Right now, things are generally operating in such a way that people are falling all over themselves to give you money for the humane part. So that's a good thing. And I'm sure there are some administrative problems, but I don't think you can tell somebody you're on your own and I'm unhappy with you. If you had a kid and all you say is, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, and you're telling them what to do is right. Kid was a paranoid freak, you got to have, what's right to do it. And you don't have it. Nobody spent the time to do it. The responsibility of the department gets shuffled from one person to another, whoever, it's the short straw. I was in charge of overseeing animal control, except they got more important things to do. John Malott has done amazing things in our fire department. You may recall when we had a well-intentioned fire department that was mostly volunteers, that the whole side of the square burned to the ground 3 different times. And now we have a professionally equipped and trained fire department. It didn't happen by accident. Those people get trained, they got policies and procedures. Even the volunteers operated at a professional standard. And I guess that didn't happen by accident. Somebody did some work to make that happen. No work's been done on this. If you lose your animal control officer, bring somebody else in who had just as much training as each of you have received in capturing dangerous dogs. And that's not much. So I feel like the solution to these misunderstandings that occur, that's somebody's working hard and producing a lot of results. So do some formal procedure. 22 years ago, I provided 9 pages of outline with a lot of blanks that need to be filled in. And what I would suggest, and give a copy to my councilman, and leave another copy here, is that all the stakeholders take that outline, including the officers, council members, whoever's worried about the wage an hour, treasury, whatever. And everybody that's gonna have a beef with the animal control department, go through there, fill in the blanks the way you see fit. Add things that are not addressed, things that I never thought of 22 years ago right now. So everybody do that, and then you consolidate that, and you have policy and procedure. The purpose of policy is not to have something to hide behind. Policy should occur when you have a recurring situation, and you try a bunch of different ways to handle it, and you find the one that works the best. And so you make that the policy. And so we don't reinvent the wheel every time something comes up. That's what you need. And then you haven't got, well, why didn't you do this? Well, why did you do that? Well, I told you to do this. Well, he told me to do that. I worked in a grocery store for a little while when I was a kid. I was not a very good employee. Say that straight out. One day, he told me to sack potatoes. Here's 100 pounds of potatoes, put them in 5-pound sacks. So I got about one sack in. Somebody up front, carry it out. You know when people used to carry out your groceries for you? I'm halfway there, and says, this freezer, they can spot mine. And I got 3 things I'm supposed to be doing at the same time. I have to set my own priority. I decided to look up the customer and carry out. So I have 2 people mad at me because I'm not carrying a sack of potatoes or spot mine. You can't run a railroad that way. And so I'd just like to suggest that you invest some time and effort in developing policy and procedure. And then you can tell whether somebody's doing what's right or what's wrong. Now, one thing that my councilman said, a lot of times both officers go out together. I'm not following them around. I can tell you that sometimes it probably just needs one officer. Sometimes they brought a dog into me to be euthanized because it's a bite case. And I am damn glad that it's already got a control pole on it in the cage. Because I do not want to meet that dog out in the open. And I don't know how they got hold of him and got him in the cage. I'm glad it was them and not me. So there are times when it's not a one person's job. There are times when it is. But you don't have any direction. You know, I asked you, do you have a job description? Well, I got a page. Brother, that ain't enough. So spend some time, invest some effort. I'm willing to help again. I'm saying this would be a thank you note or less. But we need to invest some time. Instead of, you know, saying, no, Kent says, as long as the water comes on when I turn on the tap, it's all good. You know, as long as, you know, we got pictures in the paper and somebody donates $5,000, I think, man, that's great. And then like, well, we can't afford the overtime. Well, they didn't come when I called them. Like, you gotta have priorities. You gotta have, you set somebody loose, you do it all on their own, and then complain about how they're doing it. Buddy, that's not reasonable. So, spend some time, spend some effort.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else like to address the council? Okay. Give you about a 5-minute break and we'll go into closed session.